Afternoon, everyone. This is the Building, Zoning, and Economic Development meeting. Today, Wednesday, April 9th. It is 4 p.m. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Chairperson Patty Smith.
Here.
Vice Chair Shweta Bade.
Here.
Alderman Carl Franco.
Here.
Alderman Mike Seville.
Here.
Alderman Bill Donnell.
Here.
5 present.
Thank you. We'll start with approval of the minutes, 25-0266, approval of the minutes from the Building, Zoning, and Economic Development Committee meeting held on March 26, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Franco, second by Alderwoman Bade. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item moves forward. Clerk, do we have any public comment today?
We do not.
Thank you so much. The first item on our agenda is 25-0247, an ordinance establishing a conditional use plan development approving the Harvest Point plan description and amending Chapter 49 of the Code of Ordinances, City of Aurora, by modifying the zoning map attached thereto to an underlying zoning of R2, one family dwelling district, and OS1 conservation, open space and drainage for the property located at East Randon Road and north of Butterfield Road.
Madam
You want me
Clerk,
to read all of them through?
I was just going to ask the same thing. Thanks.
I don't know what I would do if you weren't sitting up here, Alderman Franco.
I know. Safety.
If you, just give me a minute, I was actually going there. 25-0248, an ordinance amending Chapter 29 of the Code of Ordinance, City of Aurora, by modifying the zoning map attached thereto to rezone approximately 0.3 acres of the property located east of Randon Road and north of Butterfield Road from R1C, one family dwelling district, to a conditional use of R1, one family dwelling district, to remove the property from Marmion Academy plan description. And lastly, 25-0249, a resolution approving a preliminary plan and plat of lots 1 through 62 of Harvest Point subdivision on vacant land located at Randon Road and north of Butterfield Road. It's all yours, Jill.
Okay, there we go. Thank you. Jill Morgan, Senior Planner. Here is an area of the property we are discussing today. So the petitioner is requesting establishment of a conditional use plan development to change the zoning from R1C, one family dwelling district, to R2C, R2C, one family dwelling district, and OS1C, conservation, open space, and drainage district. The details of the request include a plan description that outlines specific requirements and provides some exceptions to the bulk restrictions. The single-family homes will be developed under R2 zoning with modification to the standard bulk restrictions, including a slight reduction in minimum lot size, minimum lot width, and maximum lot coverage. In addition, the plan description requires larger minimum building size than the standard R2 and requires all buildings to have basements. And the second parcel is OS1 for our stormwater detention facility. Concurrently, the petitioner is requesting to rezone approximately 0.3 acres of the property located along the eastern property line from R1C with conditional use to R1, one family dwelling district. And if you remember when Abbey Meadows came through for their townhome developments, the similar issue is also on this property. So the fence that is along Marmion's property is actually not along these actual property lines, about 15 feet east of the property line. So this rezoning is to rezone that property to take it out of the Marmion plan description and just have it underlying R1. And then the petitioners are going to deed those individually over to the homeowners who have kind of encroached on that property. They're doing that at no cost. They've already reached out to these homeowners. Everyone seems accepting of this acquisition. So this is just kind of cleaning that up to just the underlying R1. Then the petitioner is also requesting approval of preliminary plan and plat for Harvest Point subdivision for the development of the single-family homes. The petitioner is here. The petitioner is here with a presentation. If there's any question for staffs, I will go ahead and note. Just go ahead and discuss this. So for the conditions for the preliminary plan, one of the conditions that Planning Commission had added was that for staff to review possible crosswalks at Redance Road and Vineyard Lane prior to final engineering approval. I'm asking that a condition actually be removed because the engineering has reviewed that, and they are having the petitioner put in 2 crosswalks, one at Redant and Vineyard and one at Moorhead and Vineyard. That was in response to owner from the Vineyards wanting to make sure they could easily cross over to Mesa Lane in case anyone wants to go to like the commercial development. So I'm asking for that condition to be removed, but I'm also asking for an additional condition to be added. So the fire marshal asked that we add that the fire access comments dated 3/18/25 be addressed with a final plan submittal. He doesn't feel there's any concern with that, just wants it on the record.
Does anyone have any questions? Any questions? Okay, so the conditions that you're removing, is that in the second one, 250248?
It's in the third one,
third one.
the 024
49?
0250, I think.
No.
Nope,
we-
it's the
we
last
have
one, the
0249, okay.
Okay.
And the same thing with the fire
Yes,
comment, supposed to be the.
going
okay.
out of that.
So if no one has any question, 25-0249, may I have a motion?
Did you want to see the presentation?
Yeah, oh, yes, yes, oh, okay. I am so sorry. Boy, I was eager to get out of here today, wasn't I?
I'm sure they wouldn't
I'm like,
mind. No,
well,
I'm just kidding.
Nobody had any questions. I'm ready to go. Sorry, if we could have the petitioner come up.
I mean, if you don't want to hear us.
No.
It's up to you.
Happy to hear you. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having us. I feel like we've done this a couple times recently, so I'm going to kind of cut to the chase here. We've gone through this slide before. I think everybody up here is pretty familiar with who Pulte is and some of the work that Pulte's been doing in Aurora. A couple of updated pictures from presentations we've done before. If you haven't been out there, these are images of the clubhouse at Lincoln Prairie by Del Webb. So that's turned out very, very nicely, and I think it's something that everyone can be proud of.
Wow.
New project here in Aurora for Pulte. You can see generally where we're looking, north side of town, just north of Butterfield Road, off of Radden Road, across the street from Marmion. The property is actually part of the Marmion campus today. So part of the request is to remove the property from the Marmion plan development, establish a new plan development for the property. As you're all aware, the Lennar parcel, which is highlighted in yellow, has already come before the city. They were about a month ahead of us in terms of zoning approvals. So the Lennar parcel was approved for townhomes by the city recently. We're sort of a companion parcel just to the north of them, immediately adjacent, moving forward today with single-family detached homes. So just another overview of the area that shows our site plan inlaid on a close-up version. You can see the Savannah the townhomes of Savannah Crossing, which are adjacent to the commercial just to the south and east of us, and then the Kirkland Farms subdivision, which is part of the city of Aurora, immediately to the east of us. I would note that the area to the north of us is city of Batavia. So this is the site plan for the property. We're proposing 59 single-family homes. These are the 40-footer Meadow series that you would see at Lincoln Crossing. They've been very strong sellers in Lincoln Crossing. We see this is a little bit of a different market from the south part of Aurora to the north part of Aurora, sorry, and are excited about the opportunity here. These homes are actually located in Batavia schools. You can see the zoning proposed for the single-family homes is R2C. It is open space for all of the perimeter open space. I outlined in red is what sort of made this a little bit of a unique case. So sometime historically, 15, 20 years ago or more, Marmion put up a fence. When they put up the fence was located about 15 feet off of their property line. So there was this sort of weird gap between the fence and the residents in Kirkland Farms, which is adjacent. I think the residents, either knowingly or not, kind of assumed that the space in between their yard and that fence was theirs. Whether they knew it or not, they've used it. So there's sheds, there's gardens, there's all kinds of improvements on that property. So when we started working on this case, we kind of ran into a situation of, are we going to pick a fight with these neighbors or are we not? And we decided not to. So we had a meeting with the residents probably 2 months ago at this point in time. We met out at Marmion, and it was a very positive meeting. We actually met with, I think it was 17 residents that are right along that east property line. And we presented an overview of the plans, both our plans and Lennar's plans. It was both of us at the meeting. And we presented an option whereby we were agreeing to convey the property, that property in question, so the property that is east of the fence on the Marmion property. Instead of having a fight over removal of structures, we were just going to remove that property. We would individually deed it to them. They would get to expand their lots. The feedback from those residents was great. I heard a couple of them say they were expecting the worst coming into the meeting, and they were very pleasantly surprised by the proposal that we made. So Marmion's attorneys are actually working on that documentation right now. Letters have gone out to all of those neighbors to facilitate this transaction. I think there's, like I said, there's 17 neighbors. I think right now we've got documentation returned by 14 of them. So there's 3 outstanding, but we're not worried about that. We think we'll get the documentation returned on the last 3 before we finalize the documentation here. Not necessarily with the city, but before plats are recorded and the transaction occurs with Marmion, we will go ahead and we will deed the individual pieces to the adjacent homeowners. So it's sort of a nice story, an easy cleanup, where we collaborated very well with the homeowners, and I think that's why you see no homeowners here in the audience tonight. So we're excited about how all of that resolved out. Product matrix. So this is very similar to what you would see at Lincoln Crossing with the Meadow series. So we've got 5 different floor plans. Homes starting at about 2,300 square feet. As you recall, Pulte offers a lot of different options on their homes. That's why you see the variability in the square footage there, whether it's an extension to the garage or a sunroom off the back of the room, the back of the house. You see the variability to the square footage. 5 different elevations to each floor plan, so there will be strong variability. It will not be a monotonous look as you drive through the subdivision. There are options for 2 and 3 car garages, 3, 4, and 5 bedroom homes. Kind of hit on this. These are just some of the optional features that are part of the Pulte package. So here's sample elevations. These are front elevations, one of the 5 elevations for each of the floor plans that you can see here. Again, there's 5 different unique elevations for each floor plan. A couple of one view of the model at Lincoln Crossing. and then just a couple of interior images to give you an idea of the fit and finish of how these homes live at Lincoln Crossing. So with that, that's a high-level overview. I think we'd probably go into it more if we hadn't done this a couple of times recently, but since you're familiar with it, I didn't want to spend too much time unless you have questions.
Questions? Alderman Franco.
And I don't know if it's more for Jill. You talked about 2 crosswalks?
She took that out.
Oh, you took the crosswalks out?
She removed those.
Okay.
I removed the condition because we are installing both crosswalks at,
Vineyard and Moorhead?
yes,
So I think, and reason I'm going back to that, because you said something about people wanted to walk to where? Because I thought you said some commercial, but I'm looking at home, so I didn't know where that path would lead to.
crossing the sidewalk to the east side of Verdant, so you could walk south and then walk all along Mesa to get to the commercial, like the Walmart.
Oh,
commercial.
going east from there?
Yes.
Okay, all right, I was thinking we're going west, across Radden Road to the west. So I was like, that's houses over there, so that didn't make any sense.
Right.
So you're talking about going to the east from
Yeah,
there?
from Vineyards going east to.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah, that makes, I just didn't, I was kind of confused which way we were going there. Okay, that's all I have for that, thanks.
Alderman Seville.
Yes, thank you. So the monotony standards that you have for Pulte and for this particular specific development, I was just curious, how does it compare to the City of Aurora's monotony standards? Do you meet them or do you exceed them?
I believe they exceed them.
Yeah, I know that, I think we've got the monotony standard in here somewhere. I was trying to, oh, you've got this as a PDF, don't you?
I do.
That's why I'm like, I'm hitting escape. I'm like, why can't I see the rest of it? So it's in here. So generally, the monotony standard is if it's 2 homes on the same side of the street and it's 3 homes on the opposite side of the street, they can't have the same floor plan, same elevation.
Mhm. Okay.
We also, Aurora's monotony does regulate colors as well.
Yeah, and I think we do too.
You do as well.
Let me
Yeah.
see if it's.
Elevation and colors, right?
Uh,
He's still searching his, yeah, he's still searching.
And Greg, what is your last name, for the record?
Russ
Russ.
Whitaker.
Russ Whitaker, Greg, you're not Greg. Russ Whitaker.
I do not have the monotony slide in here. It is color as well though, isn't it? So is it but it's only adjacent homes and one across the street on color. So the color is where the floor plan and elevation is each side of the home, and then the 3 across the street, the color is the 2 adjacent and the 1 across the street. So if I was kitty corner across the street, I would not be prohibited from having the same color.
Okay, and just for clarification purposes, is it style as well?
Style and color.
And color, okay,
Yes.
great, thank you.
Alderman Donnell.
Thank you. Some questions about the stormwater detention. And it looks like we have a couple of outlots which might be asphalt pathways in the outlots between lot 20 and 21.
Yes, there is.
How does that work?
There's an asphalt path there, I think 2 purposes. I think you can see it here in this plan. 2 purposes though. One, the thought is that we can provide connectivity in and through the Lennar subdivision. But secondarily, there was a desire to have a paved surface to be able to access and maintain those stormwater ponds.
I would recommend that you put those in early. In my Park District experience years ago, we had a few outlots that had payout trails in them, and if they were too narrow, neighbors did not like them at all. So if you were going to put those in, I would put them in at the beginning. It looks like you connect up to it says a 5-foot walking path. Does that connect up to the development to the south?
That was the intent,
Yes.
yes.
And they are working on adding, it wasn't shown in their preliminary, but they are working on adding that path for their final.
And between 17 and 18, we got another, looks like a putter, actually. Does it go anywhere? Is there any pathways over there?
Okay, I see. No, there is, you're in this location here.
Between 17 and 18, yeah.
Brian Witkowski, Engineering Department. That is a requirement of the Engineering Department to be able to access the stormwater ponds. We have those, the responsibility to make sure that the outlet control structure, it functions properly. And so we have the right to access them and maintain them, and then kind of backyard HOA if they are not maintaining it properly. And so we need to have some kind of path to be able to have our equipment access that outlet control structure. So that is the purpose of some of those.
I know we've not had a lot of development in the last few years, and now we're starting to see a lot. I've never seen this before. Is it something new that you guys are asking for?
No, not anything new. Sometimes they're able to incorporate it into a pathway that goes around the subdivision or some other thing that looks like it's natural, and sometimes they're not. So like you can see the one pathway that goes between the two is going to be a nice amenity. It's going to also serve the purpose of allowing equipment to access it. But the detention pond to the east, unfortunately, there's not a lot of room over there to be able to turn it into some kind of amenity. But yeah, it's on all the developments, at least in the last few years that I've dealt with.
So are these ponds all going to be retention or detention? Are they going to be dry bottomed, or they look like a pond?
It's a combination. So a couple of them are wet bottom and a couple of them are wetland bottom.
So the one between 11 and 17, that looks like that might be a pond,
If I,
or maybe not.
Wetland bottom stormwater.
You got a thing there?
Yeah, on this,
Well, where did you find that?
this, I think a slide before.
Slide before, okay. That's fine,
Yeah.
that's fine.
there you go. This tells you.
Okay. Very good, thank you.
Any further questions from the council? Yes, Alderwoman Bade.
Can you please go over the price range of these homes? Site
For the
plan,
presentation.
yeah.
So I believe these are
470.
set up to match basically what we
Can
have.
you identify yourself,
Yeah,
please?
sorry, Matt Brawley with Pulte Home Company. These would be very similar to what we're selling at Lincoln Crossing South right now, on the exact opposite end of town. I think they would start in the low fives and then go from there.
And are we expecting school bus to come inside the subdivision?
No, we're not expecting the school buses to come inside the subdivision. There are walking routes. They're less than a mile and a half
Okay.
to both middle school and the elementary school, so there would not be a requirement for the school district to provide buses.
And school district is okay? Batavia School District is okay?
The school district wanted to see a walking route less than a mile and a half.
Okay, thank you.
Alderman Seville.
Yes, in terms of when you plan on breaking ground and then finishing your project, Russ?
So if all goes as planned, we would close on the property in August, develop, pave this year, to be open for sales in March of '26, and sell from there as quickly as the market dictates. Likely inside of 3 years we'll be built out.
Great, thank you.
Just one minute.
I don't know if that mic's working.
It's not.
It's not working
It's
correctly.
going to push it in tighter.
Yeah.
Alderwoman Bade.
Just one more question. So no recreation clubhouse, anything on this property?
No, this one's just too small to be able to accommodate that level of amenity.
Okay, thank you.
You don't get another chance.
Just one more question. So we were talking about school buses. There's no variance in the road width? These are standard city road width?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Alderman Seville.
So this will have a homeowners association,
Yes, it will.
and they'll be maintaining the 3 water areas and
For water areas.
For water.
There'll be, so, I mean, I think the one thing, when you look at this site plan, and I didn't go through a lot of detail on it, but we've kind of surrounded all of the lots with open space. And so if you look along Radden Road, you've got an open space corridor there along Radden. That will be an HOA outlot that will be owned and maintained by the homeowners association. We've got the open space lot to the south. That's going to serve as a buffer between our single family and the townhomes by Lennar to the south. That will be an HOA lot owned and maintained by the association. To our east, there's a pretty solid buffer there between us and Kirkland Farms. Again, that's an area maintained by the HOA. The north property line is really the only area where we don't have one of those substantial buffers. That property to the north is a larger unincorporated lot. It's a single house on it now, but I think that's probably a redevelopment proposal in the near term. I would call out that what is, I guess, the northwest corner, so just north of our entrance drive, is another outlot. And it really is just a matter of kind of the location of the property, how the entrance drive comes in. You see that we've got that entrance drive aligned with the roadway to our west. So that area north of our entrance drive is just, it's too small to be able to accommodate a home. So that's another small open space outlot that would be owned and maintained by the HOA.
Thank you.
Okay, are we finished? All right, I'm going to go through these one at a time. At 25-0249, I have a motion, please. We have a motion by Alderwoman Bade, second by Alderman Franco. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item moves forward. 25-0248, we're with a removal of the crosswalk condition. Can we have a motion
So
for that?
moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Franco, second by Alderwoman Bade. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
All opposed? Item moves forward. And item number 25-0249, with the addition of the fire access comment added into that.
I think we did 4.9 first,
Yeah,
then we did
first.
4.8. I think we should be on 4.7 now. The first one you did was the bottom one. Yeah, it's just one you read initially, 0249. That's what you read. I just thought we were going
Oh,
on first.
okay.
That's why I
So
said it,
first
because
one
I was surprised you're going, it didn't matter, but you started with 4.9.
All
I
right, well,
believe
first
the
one
record
was
shows it.
4-7. So we got all in favor 4-7,
Yes.
which is the first one. With nothing was changed on that one. The second two had condition changes.
It's
Okay.
actually just the third one. Both of the changes are on 25-0249.
Okay.
Removing the
That's
condition and
not what
adding
you
a
had said
condition.
before, because I wrote it
Sorry.
down when you said it. Okay,
Yes,
I'm going to start
sorry.
over so that we're correct here.
Sure.
Okay? 25-0247. May I have a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion by Alderman Franco, second by Alderwoman Bade. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion moves forward. 25-0248. We
So
have a
moved.
motion by Alderman Franco, second by Alderwoman Bade. And the condition is on
There was no conditions on that one.
the fire condition.
That was still on the 25-0249,
Okay.
preliminary plan and plat.
That's the one I'm going to be reading right now. 25-0249, adding the condition of the fire access comment.
Yes.
Correct? Okay, all in favor?
So moved.
Okay, motion by Alderman Franco, second by Alderwoman Bade. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item goes forward. That is all we have for BZ&E today. No need for a closed session. Motion to adjourn by Alderwoman Bade,
Second.
second by Alderman Franco. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, sorry for the confusion. We are finished.